Long won, but CHUANG Chih-yuan won at the Men's World Cup in 2012, so it was a high-pressure tournament. In 2012, Ma Long was still quite strong. Maybe there were some questions about his confidence. Again, Ma Long taking so many titles on the World Tour. In 2015, he took pretty much everything there was to offer, just shy of the Japan Open.
And I think this was this extra step 2015 that Ma Long was doing, and he needed that title desperately, because many in China was expecting him to gain this world champion title before. But he very often he lost to Wang Hao, for example. I remember 2013 when he beat Timo, and when he was celebrating this win in the quarterfinals as if he would have won the world champion, and then one day later he had no chance at all against Wang Hao, and everybody, I think even in China, was surprised that he had totally no chance to compete with Wang Hao. And well, this was 2013, 2014, but 2015 at the end it was really this turnaround when he gained this crown that he really deserved.
Yeah, it's funny what it takes sometimes. It's like the last straw. I guess there must be a positive way to say it, but the final check on the checklist to really have full confidence, you know, and then of course the Olympic medal, making him one of 5 Grand Slam champions in the men's game. It's interesting to think ahead. We've got all table tennis fans around the world excited for this upcoming World Championships. There's so many possibilities for who could win, but, you know, 2 people that really stand out right now, Fan Zhendong and Ma Long.
Yeah.
And then depending on the health of Zhang Jike, he's always a wild card. It seems possible. And then with the performance of Fang Bo here in this tournament so far, and his performance in 2015 in Suzhou, there's still a lot of different possibilities.
Yeah, definitely. But I think at the end, you know, the Chinese team will maybe give also some others a chance to participate in doubles. This is what they did before, sometimes to have 5 single players to play singles and maybe 2 others to compete in the doubles. That's what they did actually in Suzhou.
Some real power there, the backhand-to-backhand rally. Again, the cross-court, he's comfortable, as you mentioned. CHUANG Chih-yuan able to put the pace on.
Good.
1-1.
We talked about this earlier. CHUANG Chih-yuan is very fast, but his topspins, his loops, they're quite clean. There's nothing, how you would call that, greasy, a little bit like side spin, a little bit like
nothing too flashy.
Yeah, exactly.
1-2.
And even though he misses, the fact that he's going for it, it goes back to the comfort zone theory, right? The weaker player of the 2, and as strong as both of these players are, there's no question who the favorite is.
Yeah.
In red, the captain, the dictator, the dragon, Ma Long, expected to win this match. So Zhuani's going to go out swinging. And he has every point so far, win or lose. He's swung hard. He's gone for the big shots.
And this backhand, he can keep up the speed. You see, even Ma Long was accelerating before. CHUANG Chih-yuan kept this ball close to the table, counter-attacking.
Wow, covers the middle with the forehand, plays the punch backhand down the line. Just like we talked about, when Ma Long steps around the corner, CHUANG Chih-yuan looking for the opportunity, and he finds it perfectly. As strong as Ma Long's backhand is, he still favors the forehand, and this is common across the game. Just a rare few that prefer the backhand.
This was a chance. It was not too bad sometimes to turn around. So far, CHUANG Chih-yuan has not so much trouble in reading the service right of Ma Long.
Yeah, quite impressive. Again, we talked about how difficult it is to read with the very short after motion. Very subtle contact of Ma Long on the serve.
Nice placement. Very good. You see, just like touched the white line where it was really also the middle of the body. Because, you know, sometimes when you talk to players and you explain them, play to the middle, it has to be always the middle of the body, not the middle of the table.
Right. It depends where your opponent's standing.
Exactly.
3-5. 3-5.
That's good. That's good.
6-3.
And that's something we talked about this earlier this day. Whenever the player starts to get to this backhand receive, this backhand banana, very, very often the players already are ready to take a step backwards in order to attack on that ball. This probably would have been also a chance for CHUANG Chih-yuan to just get the ball short to the forehand.
3-7.
Because Ma Long knew way before that this backhand flick would come to the backhand side from Ma Long. So he was turning around very early.
Four, 7.
Now, it seems a little bit peculiar that CHUANG Chih-yuan has made it this far in the tournament, considering the lineup of players here. Look at this combination,
7-5.
fast down the line, but again, thinking in combinations, he's ready.
Yep.
His racket is up for that fast ball, and he plays it back to the wide backhand for the point.
And that was probably also the winning stroke against Kokiniwa when he in one moment opens the match
7-5.
with his long services to all directions.
Right, and it was the same part of the table. Granted, here it's wide to the forehand for Ma Long, but for Kokiniwa, it was behind him deep into the backhand corner.
Good, good, and this was
8-5.
classic. You see how it was everything set up, like backhand, and the next ball a little bit to the middle. Chhuan was waiting, not with forehand, but with backhand. We could see here now again, nailing him really down in the middle.
Right, that was that last ball that was a little bit out of the backhand range that was played with the backhand.
6, 8.
Little help from the net, but still positive play. Chhuani looking for the counterattacks wherever he can, keep the pace up. Got a slightly slower spinny ball with Ma Long leaning back rather than forward. Few big shots there, a little bit off the top of the net early. Chhuani stepped around for a big forehand, but still couldn't finish the point. Nice recovery by Ma Long there. He's always hopping just a little bit, very light on his feet, ready to go wherever he needs. Wow,
And
this is outstanding anticipation too.
And that's usually one of the strengths of CHUANG Chih-yuan. After opening the ball, keep on going fast, attacking the ball in front. Just the placement sometimes on this unbelievable high level is not that perfect. And that means at the end this 9-7 lead for Ma Long.
Ten, 7.
But earning that ball up near the net. Ma Long makes it look easy. Still not easy when it's over the table. From this angle, you have a better chance to read the height on the ball. Not a lot, and he's got that back. I mean, you could imagine someone losing their racket on the back edge of the table when they move in.
Let 10, 7.
Still 3 game points for Ma
We
Long.
have been talking about the quality of service of Ma Long. It's so difficult to really judge. Always a little bit more upspin than you expect.
But a solid
8,
forehand
10.
flip. Chhuani's shown us throughout the day as one of a handful of players who has a solid forehand flip. Interestingly enough, Tomokazu Harimoto has demonstrated very clearly that he's solid in the forehand flip game. I think last week
8,
against Dima
10.
even, that shot he made so consistently.
But most of the players, they prefer after a short return, then for the next ball they flick. Not that many, they flick directly the service. This
Right.
they prefer with the backhand.
Well played, 2 to the
8,
backhand from
2,
Ma Long to
Malong.
break a pattern, make it
1 block.
unpredictable, and Chhuani left jumping, trying to keep the ball in play. Strong effort in game 1 from CHUANG Chih-yuan. But yeah, you could see the weight moving toward the forehand side there to cover the table just in case. So this is some of the wisdom and creativity that Ma Long brings to the rest of his skill set. Game 1, 11-8. So talking earlier about how CHUANG Chih-yuan ended up as one of the final 4, well, just to let you know, CHUANG Chih-yuan, world rank number 9, was the 10th seed in this tournament, so some upsets along the way. How it happened was, well, he beat Wang Chunting 2 rounds ago, and on the other side of the draw was Zhang Jike, but Zhang Jike got knocked out after stepping out to the high fever and defaulting to Koki Niwa. So instead of playing Zhang Jike right now, CHUANG Chih-yuan earlier today, rather, played Koki Niwa, playing a very tight match, 4 games to 2. CHUANG Chih-yuan ends up here against Ma Long. So if there is no fever and everything goes as planned, just incredible. Even with the top of the net, Ma Long stays right on top of it.
And that's the main difference to the Ma Long we see starting from 2015 in comparison to the Ma Long we have been seeing in the years 2010 till 2015. There he would have probably, after the second or third ball with the backhand, stopped playing backhand, turning around directly and hesitating with backhand. Nowadays, he's not hesitating. He can keep the ball and he can even change the direction of moving CHUANG Chih-yuan into her deep forehand.
It's almost like once you have everything, you don't need anything. You're not desperate. Everything is extra credit. There's a sense of freedom out there. There's not a lot of question about the level of Ma Long's game at this point. But one thing there is a question about that I think is the one thing on the list, and it will always be for all athletes, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Who is the greatest table tennis player of all time? And this is, you know, people love discussing this on the internet. And I think if Ma Long wins the Olympics in 2020, there would be a strong case. A lot of people would believe it's Ma Long. Hypothetically, if Zhang Jike had won in 2016, or if he does it in 2020, a lot of people would say he's the greatest of all time. No male player has ever won 2 Olympic gold medals in singles.
True. And it looks like, at least at this moment, I mean, first of all, he has to qualify, especially for the singles.
Right.
There are only 2 slots, we shouldn't forget. But looks like at this moment he's really dominant.
Right, there's definitely a chance we will be seeing him in 2020.
Yeah.
From an age standpoint, though, if you look at just the history of China and how old the players are that continue to dominate the game, I mean, Wang Hao, you don't, what, 31 maybe? You just don't see a lot of people playing into their 30s as men for the Chinese national team. It's been a while since that's happened.
And for Wang Hao, it was also like really a special story. 2004 runner-up, 2008 runner-up.
Silver City.
Yeah.
4-3.
Completely off balance and reaching. Ma Long still seemed like he caught the end of the racket, and he still almost brings it into play. As far as agility goes, Ma Long has got to be the most agile player I've seen. I watch him stretching in the practice hall sometimes. The way he can move and rotate, how flexible he is just incredible. Wow. CHUANG Chih-yuan had to stay focused there. The ball that fools Ma Long still comes back as an aggressive shot.
Yeah, very, very nice footwork for Ma Long there. And usually I was expecting him in this moment to take over again.
Right. Yeah, I thought after that first shot on the run came back, Ma Long wins this point.
Five-4.
From a 1-4, he comes back to 5-4.
And when you look at the top Chinese players and who's beaten them, CHUANG Chih-yuan is one of the names on the list to beat who used to be the most unbeaten Chinese player, according to the Foreigner head-to-head, Xu Xin.
5-all.
And in the past year or two, I guess, between Junmi Zutani and CHUANG Chih-yuan, Xu Xin has lost to a couple of foreigners now.
Yeah.
But before that, it was quite rare.
I mean, we should not forget, with the change of a ball, with the move to the plastic ball or the non-celluloid ball, it's a little bit easier to read the service right. And Xu Xin was also benefiting a lot from the service and receive game.
5-6.
And now, I mean, some players like Junmi Zutani, for example, he did beat him. think it's about time that he's really improving the backhand. That was usually always his weaker point. I mean, he will never be a Wang Hao, like a backhand player, but for sure he has to improve the backhand, otherwise it's getting too wide angle.
6-all.
Well placed right onto the body, Ma Long. Again, CHUANG Chih-yuan so strong in this cross-court shot.
And this time, first time, he flicked directly on the service. I mean, if you're a complete player, sometimes Ma Long, for example, is also using this direct forehand flick. You have to have this variation, not only relying on backhand banana and forehand playing the ball short.
Oh, completely stood up. I would love to see a replay of that backhand shot by Ma Long, because the way he wiggled and sort of came through the ball was very unusual and surprising. Let's see, we got the high toss serve here. Spin ball.
Waiting a little bit. Just waiting and seeing if CHUANG Chih-yuan is moving or not.
8-6.
This takes a lot of confidence, too, to be so calm in this situation, to use the peripheral and take your time on that ball before going for the punch shot.
That was also very good. Like, move him to the middle, then opens up through the deep backhand side.
Nine, 6.
Well, CHUANG Chih-yuan is playing good. Cannot complain at all. Just like Ma Long always has a little bit the better answer, the better ending there.
Seven, 9.
The interesting thing, you know, CHUANG Chih-yuan at 35 years old, we say, well, when he was Ma Long's age, I don't know if he was any better. I mean, he's playing so well right now. It's just a quality thing, and he's really up against the best in the world and giving a good fight here. Once again, it's 7-9. We saw the score last game.
We still remember 2016.
Seven,
Was a service
10.
mistake. Really bad timing again. But you see what we have been mentioning. With 35, I think at this moment you're not old. If you listen to your body and you choose carefully the competition, you can for sure compete some more
10,
years.
8.
And we all remember Vladimir Samsonov, what performance he delivered in 2016 in Rio, when he really was able to beat Dimitri and having also like a good match in the semi-final there.
Right. And you've talked about this a lot, but the ball drifting off the side there. CHUANG Chih-yuan decided to spin it a little shorter on the table as Ma Long was backing up to get ready for that counterattack. Had to play it from out in front, so smart move to save a game point by CHUANG.
11, 8.
Banana
to
goes long.
Ma Long. 2 love.
Chiquita overboard, game 2 to Ma Long, so 11-8 once again here for Ma Long.
So this is the second game to Ma Long. Takes the second game 11-8, leads by 2 games to 0.
I'm very curious to see how things will unfold here.
I think it's difficult. CHUANG is trying very hard, is trying to get the game fast. But I mean, to my point of view, we talked about this just like before this game. Ma Long has very often the better answer, and he's playing with lots of confidence, with the confidence of the reigning champion. And I think at the end, CHUANG Chih-yuan is just like missing 1 or 2 balls, like this last receive. Maybe it's a bit slower there, not slow, but like a bit slower in comparison to Ma Long. So this is ending up to an 11-8, 11-8.
Third game, level.
I mean, I'm sure in your time playing, you've had games where you're consistently losing by a little, and it's tough because you feel like you're close enough that if you keep doing what you're doing, it should work. But really, something has to change, right? I mean, he's playing quite a similar game to Ma Long right now. What can he bring to mix it up?
You see, like now also, the reaction was very good, moving to the forehand side, and then this last ball was also switched down the line this time. But Ma Long was steering the ball again. Now we will see here, chuck, to the deep backhand. And that's always this a little bit extra spin, a little bit extra speed of Ma Long.
1 all.
Love to see that one again. It looked like he brushed it a little bit, maybe a little bit of side spin on the backhand. Let's see.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
That's the one. Just fans it, softens it up, and it bites the table to stay in front, stay a little bit shorter.
One, two.
You know, we see that so often, like short receive after the opening with a backhand flick. And to talk about terms of practice, that's exactly these balls, the Chinese, they have been practicing so much. This service, banana, and then the next ball.
Oh, man, he's going for it. That backhand swat leaping. That reminded me of the Pearson flying flamingo backhand. See it one more time when he comes back, jumping. Tested so much back and forth over and over, just relentless on those attacks. Finally, he misses one.
Just shortly to come back to this practice mode. That's what the Chinese especially, they're practicing every day, hours and hours. This backhand and after coming back to move the next ball in front.
And I think this is one of the most important things in practice is that people practice the combinations in match-like situations, not just part of it, but all of it together. The more you can simulate and create the match-like experience in your practice, the less foreign it'll feel when it comes up in a match.
And they're all practicing a lot this connection.
Yeah.
2, 4.
Down the line.
3, 4.
Yeah, well done from CHUANG Chih-yuan. And still, I don't know how you feel about this. Still, I personally have the feeling CHUANG is doing well, but always this 5% less than Ma Long.
Yeah, I'm on the same page.
3.
It's almost like, that's one way to describe it that actually paints it like quite a clear picture. He's playing very, very well. But yeah, as you said, just a little bit less, and it's almost the same game. It's very consistently just a little bit weaker.
6, 3.
Now, from a timing standpoint, we talked, you and I talked earlier today about one thing that made Timo Boll so successful is that he could take the ball early off the bounce, which would challenge the top Chinese players. With CHUANG Chih-yuan that far off the table, he can put up some incredible rallies, but I think he's still going to have to try and stay in a little bit closer.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
There we go. Oh, the softball didn't pay off this time. He had one chance after that big opening ball, and he spun it softly, and Ma Long just seized the opportunity. Carpe forehand. Look at this one more time. Ma Long right back in and in control, dictating the point once again.
And I like how he's ending up this point with this extra hook into the deep forehand of CHUANG. Looked like it was missing by many meters.
4, 7.
Sound of two dry racket hands. Right off the serve again, so aggressive.
And this I personally like very much because, again, you have this combination flick and the next ball is still in front.
Yeah, he maintains his balance so well.
8, 4.
He's quickly back and ready to be in the counter game. It's almost like the forehand flip never even happened.
Yeah.
Little bit softer shot. Ma Long tapping his head, wasn't happy with the decision to slow it down, and you can see him disapproving still. While this wasn't quite as spectacular as the other way around, this was CHUANG Chih-yuan doing the same thing, taking advantage of a softer shot, saying, nah, you're not going to fool me, I'm moving in on this.
Clay.
The way he looked up, I thought maybe there was a flash in the crowd or something.
Yes, something like, or like didn't hit it in the right way.
6-8.
The body language of Ma Long right now is not the body language of someone who's up 2 points and 2 games to 0. It's of someone who's starting to get a little bit tense.
Looks exactly. This is what I wanted to also to describe. He's playing good, but it's a little bit easier than usually for him to lose concentration. Usually you don't see him getting a hesitation whenever he's on the run like this.
Oh, after all that work, CHUANG Chih-yuan stepped around the corner. You know, it's easy to say sitting here watching that for a minute he thought it was over. Reasonable, but he spent no time, got right back up. Every once in a while, we'll see someone take a harder shot when they're chasing a ball, but what a difficult thing to do.
And how low the legs of Ma Long there really going there, because this ball from CHUANG Chih-yuan is a little bit softer, so he has to move towards. We can see for sure here after this reaction here how he has to move inside. The knee is really touching the floor.
It's incredible. Yeah, it's almost like the ankle to the knee was flat on the ground for that shot.
11-6.
And a quick turnaround and escape after those sweaty moments in the body language we were talking about. He was able to just change things. I think it all came from that one point where CHUANG Chih-yuan turned the corner and then tried to run down the next ball. That Ma Long just, the shift in power, right? Ma Long gained a little bit of confidence, became a little bit looser. That shot where he put the knee to the ground, thinking about physically like what the body is doing, it's sort of crazy. We all have, you know, between Ma Long and Fan Zhendong, they both have their low, unusual, and really physically uncomfortable balls that they seem to make consistently. But that one, that's just Ma Long.
To be honest, would be interesting to think about the possible final. I mean, would be for sure a perfect final to see Ma Long meeting Fan Zhendong, because the way Fan Zhendong was playing before in the quarters against Yoshida was incredible.
Almost every tournament, I feel like when I'm watching Fan Zhendong play, the only player that stops him from doing this is Ma Long.
Yeah, true. And this is probably also because he has this extra quality, and it might be, if a Zhang Yike is playing on a really good mood, it might be also Zhang Yike who is able to stop Fan Zhendong.
Right, from time to time that happens as well. So much power every shot, the last 3 from that opening backhand crack. CHUANG Chih-yuan really focused. It's interesting, from the answers, you know, what do you really do if you're CHUANG Chih-yuan? He's just turning it up another notch, trying to stay aggressive whenever he can, it appears.
I mean, his attitude is very well. He will try to catch the next game, trying to stay inside the game, because probably he feels today, maybe I'm already 3-0 down. It's not that easy. But on the other hand, he's really known as a fighter, and he knows, like, in one moment, it will be maybe the next time, the next match is coming, like 2012, where he beat Ma Long.
This is a trap for a lot of players. When someone starts playing with side spin or touch game, and someone else tries to get a little bit too clever, CHUANG Chih-yuan has incredible touch, but that's not to his advantage. One more loop probably. Even if that ball comes down, what's Ma Long going to do? Freak out? No, he's going to rip it.
Definitely, yeah. Actually, this chop block, it's happening also quite often when you react to one side and you are late for the other. And then you don't have the right timing to accelerate the ball in front. That's why then you have this chop block a little bit.
Right, it's a nice abbreviated motion that can still keep you in the point. You know, it's funny, these two names you don't hear together all the time, but Ma Long and Adriana Diaz, the 2 most successful chop blockers I've seen in the world. Edge there.
When did you see the chop block from Adriana Diaz?
At the US Open women's singles final, she was playing Saki Tashiro from Japan, and she probably went for, if I had to count, I would guess 15 in a single match, 15 chop blocks, and she might have missed 1. I think that's it.
Okay, this girl has tremendous feeling, very
5-2.
talented, very gifted.
Yeah, outstanding future ahead. Puerto Rico on the map. But
Yep.
yeah, Ma Long. Oh, what were you thinking?
Yeah, just like it's from Puerto Rico, eh?
Yeah.
2-6.
The backhand punch as well. Adriana Diaz used the backhand punch so effectively. Maybe Ma Long's studying Adriana Diaz. Although as far as birth goes and looking at the age difference, it seems more possible the other way around.
3-6.
This will probably be the last reference I make to players that are not Ma Long that play like Ma Long, but I think it's Adam from Turkey. Young player, looks exactly the same.
And he's playing the same style 100% like Ma Long. I know him, and it's incredible how the same timing and also the same body language.
Everything.
It's unbelievable. Actually, Ma Long knows about him.
Yeah, I think if someone's looking to hire Ma Long for a party but can't, they should call up Adam from Turkey. Be like, hey, just like let's color your hair a little bit. Come here and pretend to be Ma Long.
Let's 7-3.
So looking at the scoreboard here, it just feels more uphill than usual for Chhuani. What a way for that point to go. After that high ball popped up, I thought, well, that's throwing in the towel, and then he flat hit counterattacks it back from the forehand side.
And you see this desperate counter smash, kind of.
Yeah. That was the Hail Mary, I'm falling back from the table. I have a sense of where it's going. I'm just going to swing back.
3-9.
If Ma Long wins this point, I'm always interested to see when someone will go exhibition. And while CHUANG Chih-yuan is a fighter, he's also part of the funniest match I've ever seen.
True, against Jean-Michel Seyf in
Exactly.
the Taipei Open, yeah?
That for me, I mean, I call CHUANG Chih-yuan the Suge Knight of table tennis because you never see him smiling. But he was hilarious, and he played the straight man quite well.
And he's very, very friendly and like a very nice guy. Actually, was playing many years in Germany.
10-4.
So here we go, 6 match points for Ma Long to buy himself some rest time before playing the final. Exhibition point or no?
Let
I would bet not.
10-4.
I feel the same way. And not it is. He goes for the backhand out wide to the forehand, but Ma Long just too strong. A valiant effort and some incredible points from CHUANG Chih-yuan of Chinese Taipei. But Ma Long in solid form takes it in 4 games straight to continue with his 4th straight victory over CHUANG Chih-yuan. Hasn't lost to him since 2012, and he'll be waiting for the winner of Fang Bo and Fan Zhendong coming up in the last match of the day, which has the potential to be explosive.
Yeah, definitely, because the way Fang Bo was playing before against Yang Jiankong and the way Fan Zhendong especially was playing against